Our last formal speaker is Dr. Jonathan Golden. He is the Clinical Director of Jewish Family and Child Service, and I'm going to call him up in just a sec. He's a history of working in this area for over 20 years, a strong passion for fostering professional growth and development among staff, and recently came to the Jewish Family and Child Service, where he is the Director of Clinical Services at this outstanding organization. Jonathan?
Good evening, distinguished rabbis and honored guests. I'm so pleased being here this evening to be part of this important conversation in this lovely community. It's also very nostalgic for me, as I sang in the Sher Shemaim choir in the 1970s with Cantor Klein, and I haven't been on this specific bima for a long time, and I have a fond memory of those very shiny blue robes, and I'm just having this kind of image of those robes. So I arrived at JF&CS over a year ago, having worked at a large publicly funded child and family mental health center for many years. In coming to JF&CS, it was the first time I had ever worked in a Jewish agency. So you might be thinking, are there any differences between the two? Well, listen to my story. I started on a Monday and learned that the senior team was meeting that day. So there I was, sitting with all the JF&CS directors for the first time, and as we moved through the agenda, I enjoyed listening to all the discussions and topics. Now here's the kicker. At one point during the meeting, one of the directors piped up in a strong voice and said, "Nu, chevra, what's the tachlis? What's the bottom line?" At that moment, I knew there was a difference. I laughed and I said, "You just gotta know that at Kinark, nobody ever said, 'What's the tachlis?' in a senior management meeting." While it was only a short comment, it represented a lot. It helped me see that working at JF&CS would allow me, for the first time in my professional life, the opportunity to work in an environment that embodies and embraces the Jewish values that I hold. I then understood why so many staff had been at the agency for 10, 15, and 20 and 25 plus years, working within a Jewish agency for the Jewish community in a way that strives to embrace the continuum of Jewish practice and belief has become a large part of the purpose and the meaningfulness of my new role. In the spirit of breaking the stigma, that's interesting, my goal tonight is to provide you with oops, sorry. The red light's still on. In the spirit of breaking the stigma, and also microphones on the podium, my goal tonight is to provide you with an overview of the various programs and services at JF&CS, as well as leave you with a few take-home messages. With that said, I'm going to start with the punchline. One of my early clinical supervisors once told me, when writing an assessment report, you have to open with the take-home message, then give the reader the key findings. First give them the key finding, and then follow up with the supportive evidence. So here goes. As described by our new executive director, Brian Prowski, our goal at JF&CS is to become the first place to call, the first resort versus the last resort, for the broadest possible continuum of Jews in our community. Am I saying that we can do it all? No. While I will review the programs and services we currently provide, I simply want you to know that we want you to call us. If we can't provide the required services within our walls, then we'll do our best to link you to the best and most appropriate services out there that can hopefully meet both your professional and cultural religious needs. With that in mind, we are working hard to strengthen our existing relationships as well as build new connections to support the diverse needs of the Jewish community. In fact, our participation here tonight is an example of our efforts to engage with community, to share information, and to hopefully establish new partnerships. final opening thought. Whether we are talking about working with clients, other agencies, or the broad Jewish community, it always comes down to the same critical and required ingredient: relationship. Before anyone is able to work together, one needs to engage with the other person, the other agency, or community in a way that fosters a sense of trust, of mutual respect, and understanding. So in the pursuit of mutual understanding, I'm now going to change gears and provide a high-level overview of the primary services offered at JF&CS. Now, of course, I can't cover them all, and I'm actually very conscious of the late hour. I'm actually going to just go through the highlights of the highlights, so we can hopefully have some time. What is important to know is if you want to know what the full list of services are, simply Google our agency at www.jf&cs.com, and all the information there is there to describe our different programs. I'll highlight a few. So JF&CS provides individual, couple, and family counseling. The agency offers a wide range of counseling to individuals, couples, and families to help manage the stresses and challenges of modern life. The clinical support for frontline staff is provided by our managers, as well as a stable of contracted mental health professionals from the fields of psychiatry, psychology, and social work. We have also recently added an evidence-informed cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT group, for depressed adults. We had 2 of our in-house CBT licensed MSWs deliver this group in collaboration with a local community psychiatrist. I just have 9 pages, that's fine. At JF&CS, we also deliver some specialized woman abuse services that include the crisis intervention, assessment, individual and group counseling, as well as the maintenance of a short-term emergency and kosher apartment, which is a partnership with the Jewish Women International. In terms of child protection and child abuse and neglect, as you likely know, our agency is the only government-mandated Children's Aid Society in Canada that is exclusively dedicated to meet the protective needs of Jewish children. All I can say is that if an investigation is needed concerning the protection of a Jewish child, having a worker from a Jewish agency is a tremendous asset to that family, to the investigation process, as well as to the associated services, whether they relate to the Jewish fostering work, our kinship services, our kinship care services, or Jewish adoption. The Jerome Diamond Center, or JDD, is a youth mental health center at JF&CS that provides day treatment services to youth ranging in age from 12 to 17, whose mental health needs exceed the capacity of the regular school system. The JDD is a partnership between the Toronto District School Board and JF&CS, where we run 2 middle school and 2 high school classrooms in a residential neighborhood near Mount Pleasant and Eglinton. In addition to mental health and the educational programming at JDD, all students are involved in content and celebrations that follow the cycle of Jewish holidays. It's also important to note that the JDD has a long-standing partnership with Youthdale Treatment Center, which offers a kosher residential treatment facility for Jewish clients. When clients require both residential and JDD day treatment, our agency and Youthdale work together to coordinate services. I'm just going to try to choose the highlights. A critical JF&CS mandate with an equally high level of financial investment is the collection of programs designed to reduce the impact of poverty amongst our community's most marginalized. Our supplemental financial assistance program, funded by UJA Federation of Greater Ontario, allows for approximately 1,600 marginalized individuals in the Jewish community to receive a monthly basic income supplement. Our other financial supports and programs assist with summer camp fees, vocational training, etc. Additional agency programs dedicated to poverty reduction include Holocaust survivor emergency funding, a homelessness prevention program, as well as our exciting To Strive to End Poverty, or the STEP project. My final word on poverty, on the poverty front, is the agency's mission and commitment to continue to enhance the mental health, physical, vocational, and systemic supports that accompany any of the dollars and cents that we provide. I'm skipping here, folks. As noted in the original punchline, our goal at JF&CS is to become the first place to call, the first resort versus the last resort for the broadest possible continuum of Jews in our community. I also noted that everything we do, whether with clients or with community partners, must be based on a strong relationship. In closing, I simply want to share what can occur when strong relationships are forged between JF&CS and community partners. Simon Cockstein, a very special man, and one of our senior social workers at our downtown branch, met with me on Monday and described some beautiful outcomes that can bloom from such relationships. He explained that for the last 12 years, based upon a strong connection with Midtown Chabad, Rabbi Deitch, and a generous donor, we have been able to provide a Pesach Seder for 150 to 200 marginalized individuals at the Miles Nadell JCC. If you just stop to picture that wonderful Seder with 150 participants, it is a very powerful image. Simon also described the strong cultural and religious support we receive from the Minsker Shul and Rabbi Spiro from many of the individuals we work with. Finally, he let me know that through one of our donors, one of our donor-based opportunity funds, we were able to support a bar mitzvah this past Shabbat at the Markham Street Shul for one of our families. This was by no means the first bar mitzvah, and God willing, won't be the last. Relationships and partnerships can be very powerful agents of change for everyone in this room. And please feel free to call me if you have any ideas or possible connections or possible new relationships to help us at JF&CS continue to meet the diverse needs that span our shared Jewish community. Thank you very much.